thank you also for, remembering a book that is so old. Thank you all for coming to the 50th anniversary celebration of the book. When I started, if I thought when I started this book in 1935 that I would be sitting in front of a room of people 50 years later, it's just really amazing to me, and I don't want to get too emotional about it. But since I'm assuming that you're here because you're long-time fans, you've traveled a long distance, I thought I would, go back into the records and dig up some of the little extras and nuggets that went into the making of the book. I had to transcribe some of these from telex, which was the format that we used to write and transmit the book. So what I'm going to show you first are a few deleted scenes. These are scenes that either test readers didn't like, or we just felt like the book was full. And I worked with the executive producers of the book, Tim Heidecker and Eric Warheim. They had a lot of input. We went back and forth on a lot of this stuff. So it may be a little hard to read because, as I said, this is a telex translation, but hopefully the audio of their description of the deleted scenes will be up and running. So let's look at the first one.
We spent a lot of time on this one.
A lot of time and a lot of money.
Right. Originally, of course, this was going to be the infamous rickshaw chase.
Yeah.
But we couldn't find any rickshaws that would go fast enough.
Right. The thing about a rickshaw is it's not fast and it's not exciting.
Right, and we wanted an exciting, original, fantastical chase sequence. And I'll tell you what, the rickshaws, first of all, we couldn't even get them to work.
Not at all. And the Humvee happens to be my favorite vehicle.
Right.
I have a small one. I painted it green, and I called it the Green Monster of the Lagoon.
Like the movie, right?
Right. That's very good. Very good. I don't think there's anything more exciting than a green Humvee.
Well,
it's just an exciting vehicle. We wanted to have 75 of them, just racing across one of those desert flats, the salt flats of Utah. It would have been great.
All these Humvees chasing after Uno, dude.
All of those Humvees chasing after one person. And we wanted to make it memorable.
Right. We couldn't even do it the way we wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So it got cut.
It got cut. We can't win all our
battles. That was the end. That was the last part that we couldn't rescue from the telex. Here's another scene.
Well, we're really excited about this sequence.
Beautiful. The ice caves.
Spectacular.
Gorgeous crystals. It was just perfect.
Yeah. We finally had it in the budget to get this particular cave. It was gorgeous.
Except, of course, for that incident.
Well, yeah.
It was terrible.
If that poor robot didn't fall, it would have been...
I don't think he fell. It was more he slipped.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like a slow sink. Sinking into the ice.
Right.
But...
It would have been good, except, our buddy Duke was riding that.
Duke got badly hurt, and out of respect for the family, we cut that scene.
Cut it out.
But it would have been beautiful.
Would have been sweet.
Oh, the fur caves and the crystals.
Just the way we pictured it.
Yeah, beautiful.
And one more sequence here that was unfortunately cut.
Whoa. Well, we really debated about putting this one in the book or not.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, really difficult.
Yeah. I remember early on some of our test readers were a little bit scared of this sucker.
They thought the boy would actually die.
It is so silly. He's clearly, he looks as if he's hanging on by a thread, but he was actually the whole time very safe.
Absolutely safe, and he made it through unharmed.
People see a small boy, somebody that small, next to a giant robot like that, and they're instantly going to think he's going to get hurt. I mean,
originally this book had tons of these kind of sequences.
Well, boys in precarious situations.
Yeah, but the readers did not like it. They don't want to read about boys in danger.
Oh, no, because everyone thinks all boys should be safe.
Yeah, like the Boy Scouts, but that's not reality.
No.
It needs something a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, absolutely challenging. You know, you got to, I guess the point is you got to play a balance between what's right.
What's right and what's wrong.
Actually, I was going to say what's right and what would sell.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, I know, totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then one more just went through the photo archive. I actually did extensive research to make sure that this book was as authentic and realistic as possible, which took me to the far corners of the world. Often I was embedded with the military, and so there are just a few shots here. There's me in a military outfit. And the first one, those guys are firing a cannon. And it's kind of funny because those guys are all like, whoa, that's really loud. And see, I'm just standing there. It's like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's just an explosion. You guys do this every day. I'm here just for a week. Who's the tougher cookie? There I am. I'm getting ready to fight a guy. There's someone like right over here. There's like a guy right here. Imagine like this. But the cameraman didn't get the shot, and that was his last day on our trip. Here, I'm just climbing a tower. This might be a little hard to see. And here, I'm just running faster than the army. Anyway, so the story I'm going to read. I am actually going to read at this reading, and I debated whether I should or not, and some of you may have hoped that I would not pick this book up, but I'm going to do it. This particular story came from a nightmarish thing that I saw on television when I was a very young child. There was a series called In Search Of in the late 70s, and it was narrated by Leonard Nimoy. And it was the most terrifying fucking thing ever put on television, because Leonard Nimoy would... First of all, it's Leonard Nimoy who has the most terrifying voice in America. And he would have a whole half-hour show about Bigfoot. And there, actually, this story is relevant because we're here. The episode on Bigfoot aired right after Mount St. Helens erupted, and Leonard Nimoy was like at the... And I grew up in Genesee, I should add that. So I actually... I had a barn in the back of my... back behind my house. So Leonard Nimoy was like, Bigfoot was reportedly scared of the blast at Mount St. Helens, and so he is running across America, running eastward toward upstate New York, where he likes to stay in abandoned houses and barns and eat young boys. I mean, he didn't say that last part, but I swear to you, he said that Bigfoot was running, like tear-assing for western New York. And so that just cast a pall on my childhood. This story is not about Bigfoot, unfortunately. This was something that was much scarier, and I, to this day, it's one of those things I can't verify that it actually happened. It was this show about these paranormal experts who went into people's houses, and they had this special device that they could record the walls. They showed these guys, and this was before infrared cameras or anything, so it was just this really dim, terrifying lighting in an old 70s house, and they point this, instrument at the wall, and you heard this weird sound. It didn't make any sense. It didn't sound like it wasn't like, hey, Sam, pass me some sarsaparilla. It wasn't like, these voices from the past, but it was something much scarier because it was just these tones that this paranormal expert would then be like, oh yes, Sarah is very upset now that new people are moving into her daughter's home, you know. So this was just, it really terrified me, and again, I don't know whether this was real or whether I made it up, but in any case, I decided to plunder it for this.